Tonight, we're not just talking about a drone. We're talking about the exact moment human pilots quietly lost their monopoly over the sky. Close your eyes for a second and imagine a cold winter morning in northwestern Türkiye. The air is still, the runway lights glow faintly against the fog. Engineers stand silently, watching monitors flicker with telemetry data. No pilots are climbing into cockpits, no helmets, no oxygen masks. Just two dark, predatory shapes sitting motionless at the end of the runway, waiting. Then the engines ignite. A deep jet-powered roar tears through the silence as the first aircraft surges forward. Seconds later, the second follows. No radio calls, no hand signals, just algorithms, code, and machine logic executing a plan written months earlier. One by one, they lift off the ground, and the moment their wheels leave the runway, aviation history quietly changes forever. On December 28, 2025, Türkiye's Baykar Kızılelma unmanned combat aircraft didn't just fly, they thought together. Two jet-powered drones climbed into the sky, found each other, aligned perfectly, and began flying in tight, close combat formation, autonomously. No pilot, no remote joystick, no real-time human decision-making. These machines coordinated, adjusted spacing, mirrored turns, and completed a full combat air patrol like seasoned fighter pilots who had trained together for years. Only they weren't pilots. They were machines. And that's what makes this moment terrifying and revolutionary. Because what you're witnessing here isn't a drone flight. It's the birth of autonomous aerial teamwork at fighter jet speeds. But to understand why this moment matters so much, we have to rewind, because this wasn't Türkiye's first shock to the world that year. Not even close. Just 1 month earlier, on November 28, 2025, something happened over the Black Sea that barely made headlines but should have shaken every air force on Earth. A single Kızılelma drone lifted off alongside 5 Turkish F-16 fighter jets. This wasn't a parade flight, this was a live fire test. Somewhere far ahead, a jet-powered target drone raced through the sky at high speed, maneuvering aggressively, simulating an enemy aircraft. Then, Kızılelma's Aselsan Murad AESA radar lit up. From over 40 miles away, the unmanned jet detected the target. Classified algorithms calculated speed, heading, closure rate. There was no pilot breathing heavy under G-forces, no hesitation, no fear. A command was generated. A Gökdogan beyond visual range missile dropped from the drone's internal bay, ignited and streaked forward at supersonic speed. Seconds later, impact. Direct hit. The target vanished in a fireball. That was the first time in human history an unmanned jet aircraft destroyed another airborne target using a real BVR missile. Not in a simulation, not in a test lab, in live conditions with real weapons. 2 global firsts, 30 days apart. And suddenly, a question began echoing quietly through defense ministries around the world. If machines can hunt, kill, and now fly together, what role is left for human pilots? To answer that, we have to go back more than a decade, to a time when this idea sounded impossible. The story of Kızılelma began in 2013. Back then, Türkiye was already changing warfare with the Bayraktar TB2, a slow, propeller-driven drone that rewrote battlefield tactics in Syria, Libya, Nagorno-Karabakh, and later Ukraine. Militaries watched in shock as a relatively cheap drone dismantled tanks, air defenses, and supply lines. But while the world focused on the TB2, Selçuk Bayraktar was thinking far ahead. He wasn't satisfied with drones that loitered and dropped bombs. He wanted something far more ambitious, something most experts said couldn't be done. A jet-powered, unmanned fighter. A drone that can survive in contested airspace. a drone that could dogfight, a drone that could operate from aircraft carriers, a drone that could fly with and eventually replace manned fighters. The project was quietly named MUSE, Combat Unmanned Aircraft System. For years, it lived only in sketches, simulations, and wind tunnel tests. Skeptics laughed. Analysts said it was unrealistic. Even major powers struggled with similar concepts. Then, in 2021, Baykar revealed the design. The world stopped laughing. The aircraft looked like a stealth fighter, sharp angles, smooth blended surfaces, internal weapon bays. This wasn't a drone. This was a pilotless jet. Baykar named it Kızılelma, the red apple from Turkish legend, a symbol of a goal always just out of reach, worth chasing no matter the cost. Selçuk Bayraktar later revealed it was his 12-year dream. By December 14, 2022, Kızılelma took its first flight. 14 minutes, no issues, perfect control. Then things accelerated fast. In 2023, it flew alongside F-16s, showing it could integrate with manned fighters. In 2024, new engines, better sensors, production-ready prototypes. By mid-2025, serial production began. And then came November and December. Now let's talk about why Kızılelma is different, why this aircraft scares traditional air power. First, stealth. Its shape and materials reduce radar visibility dramatically. On enemy radar, it can appear no larger than a bird. That means it can slip through defenses, detect enemies first, and strike before being seen. Second, performance. Cruise speeds around 500 miles per hour, with future versions approaching or exceeding Mach 1. Operational altitude over 30,000 feet, endurance up to 5 hours, combat radius exceeding 500 miles. And third, and this is critical, maneuverability. Without a human on board, Kızılelma can pull 9G+ maneuvers repeatedly. No blackout, no fatigue, no hesitation. It can fight in ways no human pilot ever could. But the true revolution isn't speed or stealth. It's the brain. Baykar's Smart Fleet autonomy allows multiple drones to share sensor data instantly, decide roles dynamically, maintain formation automatically, adapt to threats in real time. On December 28, 2025, you saw that brain in action. 2 drones behaving like wingmen. No leader, no follower, just shared awareness. That's the moment air combat quietly changed forever. Because today it's 2 drones, tomorrow it's 10, then 50, then entire autonomous squadrons. Now add weapons. Kızılelma carries Gökdogan BVR missiles, 40 to 65 mile range, Bozdogan dogfight missiles, SAM-J cruise missiles for ships and land targets, precision-guided bombs, all carried internally to preserve stealth. Its Aselsan Murad AESA radar tracks multiple targets, resists jamming, and guides weapons independently. Combined with AI, it can choose targets faster than any human. And here's where geopolitics enters the story. Baykar has announced plans to expand production with trusted allies, including Pakistan. At the same time, Selçuk Bayraktar has publicly stated that Kızılelma will never be sold to India. That decision alone reshapes regional power calculations. At $30 to $40 million per unit, Kızılelma costs far less than an F-35 and doesn't risk a pilot's life. Nations that adopt it gain stealth, autonomy, and numbers. The red apple legend says the fruit is always just out of reach. Türkiye didn't just reach it. They built it, they armed it, and on 2 cold days in late 2025, they proved it works. So history nerds, ask yourself this. If drones can fly together, fight together, and kill together, how long before humans are no longer needed in the cockpit? Drop your thoughts below.
Which shocked you more, the BVR kill or the autonomous formation flight? And are we witnessing the beginning of the end for manned fighter jets? Stay curious, stay nerdy. The future of the sky just changed, and this time there was no pilot to see it happen.